Oh, maybe now it'll work. There we go. Mic check, mic check. Okay, well, let's transition to in-game. I think we're live. Well, we're off to a rough start this week. As you saw from the little splash page there, somehow my computer crashed the other day and it blanked out all of my stream settings, so I kind of have to build that up from scratch. And so you're just going to have to live with me here as I feel through the problems. I'm hoping the audio's fixed. I re-enabled all the microphone settings that I had to the best of my recall knowledge, so we're gonna make do with it. Hopefully nothing's too jacked up. I did a test stream. It seemed to work. Whatever. We're going with it. So welcome. Oh boy, it's gambling tonight, guys. We got new character. We got Vector. So the plan for tonight is, hopefully, we're gonna get Vector. We're gonna get the segment 1 fortification for Vector, and then, assuming that doesn't go horribly wrong, we're gonna try and grab the weapon here too. Now, mathematically, I have enough to, I think, guarantee all this, but man, will it be painful if I have to go to hard pity on all those. So we're gonna hope that doesn't happen. 416, wake up! What are you doing? God, sleeping on the job, taking pointers from Mishti. But after that, we're gonna I think we're gonna do a little bit of the calibration for the new extreme calibration system. Right, we're gonna do some of this, and we're gonna kind of go through it for those of you who don't know. And then after that, we're kind of gonna do whatever. I got a little excited, and I sped through all of the story for the event here. And the challenge modes aren't open, and there's no like little mini side events, so there's not really gonna be a whole lot to do there. The story was pretty good. Nothing crazy, nothing like a Phalion story, but it's a nice little side story. So you guys should do that if you haven't yet. The final boss is kind of cool. The issue, I won't show it because it's not really a spoiler, but the final boss is interesting. It's obviously a total like shill boss for Vector, but it's an interesting fight if you do it without Vector. I guess that's the best way to put it. Unfortunately, it is a little low level, so we'll have to wait till it comes out in challenge mode or in expansion drills. Okay, so I think we're gonna get started here. I think my good luck charm is not showing up. I'm hoping he's here. Yugnar, are you here? Can I get a PogChamp in the chat if you're here to bless me? The reason I want Yugnar to be here is because I watched his gambling in Star Rail, and it was let's just say he's the 1%. Like in the good side, not the bad side. Yes! We got him here, yes. The good luck charm is present. Let's go. Okay, so we are at a 0 pity. We just got the I think we literally left off right after we got Michti last time. So yeah, we're literally 1 in. Yeah, let's just start going. I got a ton of tickets. Oh, before we start though, real quick, let me throw in the chat here. This is a code. Let me make sure I grab it. Sorry, I muted the in-game sound. For those of you who aren't paying attention, anybody who watches this in the future in the next day or two, the code is Labor Day, all caps. I don't know if caps matter, but put that into this little guy here. Toss it in there and gets yourself some free supplies. So well, let's take those free supplies and let's start the gambling. Alrighty. So like I said, I'm hoping this doesn't go horrible because the last couple of gambling have not gone great in Hong Kong. So let's see. This game I have way better luck though. We got the hold up. How can we gamble without a little refreshment? Always gotta have the Mitch T approved beverage with us. Okay, now we're really started. That was just a warm up, so let's. I don't really need anything else. Besides, we're gonna have to skip. We're gonna have to skip some of these because we will be here all night. Because we're probably gonna have to go to like 300 pulls of this. Yeah, I don't really need anything else. I don't think I need any of the 4 stars on this banner or any like weapons or anything. So we're just looking for gold. So that was 30 now. Oh yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. The last HSR banner did not look favorably upon me. I think I did need this Ksenia actually. I think that makes Ksenia real quick. I know, distracting. I finally have a good reason to level her. Yeah, okay, that is the last segment I needed. I've been meaning to level her for like the last like month, 2 months really. I used her a ton in closed beta, so I like kind of didn't. I wasn't like in a rush to level her again because I'm like I used her so much during the closed beta period. I'm like, all right, we need to give some other characters a chance, and then I just kind of never needed to do it. That's the plan, Wooly. I'm hoping to just quote get lucky, bro. To be honest, even if I just win one of the 50-50s, that would be pretty above average for my luck. Oh, we did get ooh, microphone. Careful, Mike. Calm down. I think that was a little early. That or it's like the very beginning of when the pity kicks in, like the soft pity. Oh, I think this is literally the 9th one. All right, let's go, dude. We are halfway there already. I love this splash art for her too. I like how her like jacket's like semi on fire. Dude, I don't know if you guys saw on the surveys, they were asking like what kind of merchandise are you guys most excited for? Like to be, I'm assuming they mean like brought into the US, like sold US side. This jacket, Mika, if anyone's listening, if I know you can't put the words Vector on there probably for copyright reasons, but just saying, this jacket, lots. I would infinite dollars. Yeah, it literally was one into the this like soft pity or whatever, when it starts to increase your chance. Well, we did it, boys. We're halfway there now. Okay, so let's just do that again, and then we're stacked. Every nemesis is a gift from heaven. Yeah, for those of you wondering, I believe the segment 1 on her is a bigger impact than getting the weapon. I said I'm pretty sure we're well within our budget to get both now, but if you were to decide between getting a segment on her or getting the weapon is like a decent like stat stick, but this is like a small DPS increase to her and a small DPS increase to the team, but her first segment is a huge DPS to the crane. Yeah, DPS to the team. It's pretty much a 30% damage amp. So, but anyway, let's get back to it. Said I would be ecstatic if we also got this segment early. That'd be crazy. Yeah, Willie, the +1 support stacks for this segment is nice too, but I was like kind of thinking about it, I'm like, man, like you're gonna have trouble actually. Like for example, that would put Chongju to 5 support attacks a turn. They can't be AoE, they have to be targeted. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, I'm like, that's actually kind of difficult to do. Like repeatedly, right? You can maybe do it every now and then. For example, if you compared her with like Macchiato, on the turn Macchiato uses interception, she's counterattacking twice, so that like will help you boost it up. But obviously, you can't do that every single turn. Okay, are we gonna? So we're gonna. This one will be at the very, very tip of Soft Pity. Oh, again, we got it again on the very first one into Soft Pity. Because I believe Soft Pity starts at 70 or 60. This might actually even be early. Please no Sabrina. Please no Sabrina. Anybody but that. Okay, not a 5-star, but we're gonna watch this anyway. My dream is one day this character will be a 5-star. No. But wait, it could always be the double 5-star. Womp womp. But wait, the double 5-star? Nope, no double 5-star. Okay, Dream's dead. I actually didn't mind this dupe too much. I don't have any segments on her, so getting 2 segments on her isn't the end of the world. Yeah, it's Hubble. It's Hubble from another universe. Dude, I'd actually prefer Hubble over Tololo. Let's look real quick. I want to say the probability increases at... Okay, so it's 58 here. Yeah, so essentially 60 is like kind of like the cutoff point where it starts to get progressively more and more in your favor. And I believe that one was like 58 where we got that. But that's okay, Yagnar, because we're gonna just hit one more 10 pull here and we're gonna get it. Okay, that one didn't count. Oh, nice, we got the weapon, but we're gonna get a better version of that, hopefully. Ooh. Oh, dude! See? What did I say? Let's go, Yagnar. Thank you. My good luck charm. You came in handy. What if we get a double 5-star on top of this, though? Okay, we'll skip this one. Damn, if my luck was like this all the time, I would have gone for segment 6 Klukai. Alrighty, well that was way better than I thought it was going to be. What did we didn't even get halfway through. Right, how many? I had about 400. Yeah, dude, we only used like 150-ish for all that. Dude, that was rock solid. And we're already 40 into this because I threw a couple at Meech Cheese Banner. Didn't get it, obviously. We are not on a guarantee on this, I believe. Now I need to check because I'm not sure. Yeah, this is a semi-fresh one, so let's just get this, and then we're freaking... Oh, bro, no way, dude, dude, bruh. Is the streamer luck? Dude, oh my god. Literally first one. What? The streamer luck is real, dude. Oh my goodness. God damn. Well, I'm glad I captured that on camera, because the chances of me repeating that kind of luck again is, it's not good. It's pretty low. Yeah, easy game for babies, dude. Look at that. Dude, that was 3 of the 4 stars, too. That was a cracked pull. Oh my god. Wow. Alrighty, dude. Well, dude, that's fantastic because I know the next character is going to be Yohi, which we're going to grab definitely for sure now because we did so good on this. Even if you go to hard pity, I can still probably grab her. But yeah, even if they sneak in a surprise Lena somewhere in this next patch or two, we're Gucci, dude. We're Gucci. Hell yeah, dude. Drinks on me tonight, boys. We're gonna have to grab the... I think I'm gonna get the costume for her too, just for funsies. This is kind of a weird way they're selling it. So I'm not sure how I feel about this. Maybe you boys that play Hong Kong that don't have any skins can throw your 2 cents in on this one. So they're selling how they're doing this skin. So normally skins are just like whatever, right? It's just like, here's a skin. It's whatever. This one's $20 because it comes with like special animations for like the alt and stuff. You know, if you're into that. And then obviously that's like a custom skin for the character. And then whatever, they also give you like whatever icons and stuff like that nobody cares about. But this one is a little bit different. This is kind of the first one they're rolling out in this fashion of these like customizable skins. So it's like, this is the skin. And then is it a preview? Can I? Yeah. So this, it's got like different parts of the skin itself that can be edited. So like, let's say you can mix and match. So if it's whatever you wanted to go with like some cat ears or something like that, along with some like high stockings, you could do that. Or but the way they're selling it is you buy the base skin, which right now is on sale for $10, and then you have to buy. Where did they have it? The custom skin? I don't know. They had it arranged really weird. It's in the trading post. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting... They just redid how this all layout works. Here we go. So it's... You either get the base skin, or you buy the base skin, and then you buy all the little, like, extras, right? Like, those extra options. So when you buy this skin, you only get the first set here. But if you want any of these, even if you only wanted, like, the leggings or something like that, you gotta buy the whole little box here, which is another $5. So you can get all the customizations for $5 more. Now, this is on super sale right now because this is like the first one they're doing like this. I don't know if this $sign is correct, like if this is going to be the normal price or not, but that's a little steep. I'm assuming the base skin would be like $20 and then all the accessories would be $8. I don't know how I feel about that, right? Like I said, maybe you guys have some better input on this. Like, so like other games don't even have. First of all, other games don't even have skins, right? Certain games don't have skins. Well, I guess technically Honkai has skins. They just only use one. But I don't know how I feel about the selling it in little pieces like this. This is kind of a weird system. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy on this one. Yes, yeah, sock technology. I don't know what chromas are in League of Legends, so I cannot comment on that. I mean, I know in like Dota and stuff, they have like customizable slots, right? Like each character has like different, instead of just having like a whole like skin, you get like whatever. Here's the hand slot, here's the chest piece, the legs, the boots, the whatever, the hat. That'd be kind of cool if they did that. I don't know if that's possible in this kind of a game to do like customizable slots. Like I know people were complaining, they're like, oh, I like, you know, this part with that part, and it's like I don't know if you can custom mix and match, because like for a hot minute there, like for example, you see on her chest piece here, she's got her little combat knife. If we click it, she does a little animation where she rips out the combat knife. In the skin, it's not there. So you can't click it to do that, but she will just pull it out of her back pocket. Right, so they have to modify and edit the animations for the character based on the skin itself. So, what's the little emblem here? Oh, MCV ammo, that's kind of cool. Little attention to detail there. Oh, look at this. Little bullets for the little, the buttons here. So I don't know if they can do a full-on, like, super customizable skin, like, they have to. And I remember the first day, like, when I looked at this, like, there was, like, a weird glitch where, like, you would inspect it, and then it would show the knife here, and then it just got really janky. Like, the animation got messed up. So, I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing. Well, he says I'm never paying more than $10 for a skin. So, let me push back on that. Why $10? Is that, like, the standard in other games, or does that just sound like a good number? Advocate, I mean, the Tales games do skins kind of like that, and they're $2 each. I don't know which Tales games you're talking about, like Tales from the Borderlands? Is that what you're talking about? It's not a live service game, so a different monetizing strategy. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna assume the reason they priced it the way they did is because they're like, all right, let's just see what people will pay. Badass level up animation. Dude, I want this jacket so bad. I want this jacket in real life. Uh-oh. YouTube crashed there for a second, or at least my browser did. Can I get a woot woot in the chat if you all are still here? I hope that didn't crash the stream. I know I muted the in-game sound for a moment here while I try and figure this out. I mean, on my end, I still see the stream going, so we're gonna continue, and I'm gonna hope that. Oh, cool! I see chats again. All right, that was weird. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, computer's been having all sorts of issues this week. Anyway, back on target. Sorry. Yeah, Yagnar saying I'm going to use my guarantee on this character. Yeah, dude. So the reason this character was so hyped, not just because she's like relatively cool, because if you're not into like fan service and stuff, this is like one of the more quote cool characters in the game. The reason everyone's hyping her up is because for the price of the base character plus this segment, you have kind of solidified yourself. I'm sorry, I gotta change something here. You've solidified yourself as a very strong like team that can combat everything, because it's similar to like in Hawkeye Star Rail, the like break effect team, and how it can like implant fire weakness and then like just kind of slice through pretty much anything no matter the content. It's similar to how Vector works in this game, is that she implants fire weakness on the enemies, and then she has a couple characters that pair like perfectly with her, specifically Chongju, which is a standard Bear 5-star character, and Sharkry, which is a 4-star character, another very easy to get character. Those two pair perfectly well with her to pretty much slice through all foreseeable content for a very long time. So you're pretty much spending 2 characters worth of tickets to get a fully functional team that can carry you through all content for a very long time. I'm not going to say forever, but for a very long time. The other servers are ahead of us by, I don't know, what, 6 or 8 months at this point, and this team still does perfectly fine versus like any content. Yugnar is the guaranteed card technology. Well, he says $10 is the equivalent of an hour work, and that's all I'm willing to give. That's fair. I mean, it is weird, the perception of like how much things cost in like gacha games like this is kind of slowly shifted over the years. I remember microtransactions kind of starting out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, like, you know, $1. What do you need $2 for?" And it was like it progressively got more and more. Like most games would be like, okay, $1 for some gems, and then $5 for this. And I'm trying to think of like the first game that really like kind of did the absurd amount of like pricing, like $10 for a skin. I want to say it was. Ooh man, dude, I would bet it was either League of Legends or like one of those MOBA style games. They were one of the first to be like, okay, this is a skin for a character and it's going to be like 10 to 30 bucks. Like I remember in Dota 2, which was, this is a long time ago now, they did their first, like their version of like fancy skins called Arcana skins, which like they changed the characters like graphics or something. And those were like 30 bucks and people are like, whoa, that's so much money. I mean, the difference is technically you could get them in game with like a 0.00001% chance, but so you know, it's one of those things where it's like I don't know when it got normalized, is for like this is the like the acceptable ratio for how much things cost in gacha games. But yeah, we're definitely kind of hit a weird point where nowadays like $10 to $15 for a skin is not unusual. And it's not just gacha games too, right? Like even other games. I mean, you play Call of Duty, they'll charge you $15 for the battle pass, right? Just like this game would. And the battle pass will do the same thing. I remember I was playing Modern Warfare, the one that came out like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, like the new remake of it, not the original. And they had like the skin shop for the guns, right? Where like their version of like you get like these wild skins, right? Where like all the like graffiti and like the goofy like gaudy stuff, they were charging like $20, like real life $20 for one skin. And I'm just like, you know, obviously in Call of Duty there's a lot of guns, so and obviously there's like characters too, like your what's the word, like your operator, I guess is the term. I think we're gonna go with the OG one for now. We're just gonna leave it at that. I'll edit this later, customize this later. Yeah, sorry, Yagnar, I've been talking. Yeah, a segment in this game is equivalent to an Eidolon or a constellation in Hoyoverse terms. You can't turn this off. I kind of want to... I'm tempted to not cash this segment in. I'm not going to cash this segment in until after I record. I'm going to be doing a guide for this character, so I'm going to cash this segment in after I record the guide. I don't think it really is going to matter, but it will mess up showing off the abilities and stuff. So we're going to have to put a hold on that. What else we got to do? We got to do fix keys real quick. I was smart and I saved up all my resources for that. Yeah, Call of Duty has gone full monetization. I've watched some streams and gacha players look tame. Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not just them. I'm trying to figure out like who did it first, right? Like I remember not too long ago there was all that drama about well, I think it was League of Legends was doing some like limited time legendary skins that were like $200 for characters, and I'm like, I don't know, man, that sounds wild to me. I think we're gonna grab all these. Yeah, I think we're good to grab all these. Okay. I budgeted for this, don't worry. Yeah, League had a $500 skin. That's crazy, dude. But, you know, that's the thing. They like, I think the game developers are kind of just like testing the waters with a lot of this stuff. They're just throwing those like ridiculously overpriced skins, and they're just like, but what if? And the answer every single time is yeah. Yeah, like I don't know what to say. It's like everyone wants to get mad at the game devs for doing it, but people keep buying it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a weird topic. Like I said, the just justifying how things cost in general is kind of a weird topic, not just for gacha games. We definitely want this key. We want that is yeah, it is good for Gunsmoke, which starts tomorrow, which I'll need this for. And then we don't need that. That one's for Gunsmoke as well, which... yeah, we'll just put all the Gunsmoke stuff on there for now. And we'll just throw... do I even have any spare ones? Who was I going to steal these from? We're going to steal some Ksenia's keys for now. I said I'll have to redo all my my keys later. I don't feel like doing that right now. But yeah, it's like... It's really hard when you started getting into that that dynamic of like what things cost and like what people are worth, like because not just gacha games, even other types of games. Like for example, anyone who's played Warhammer knows that little plastic models are also very, very expensive, and you know it's hard to justify and quantify and be like, well, that's too much for something I enjoy, because then people do all sorts of like justifications, right? They'll be like, well, I pay, you know, MMOs is another one. You know, you buy a subscription for $15 a month, and then people just be like, well, I can play the game as much as I want, right? Like I can play 1,000 hours and that's worth $15 to me. Other people say like they'll buy DLCs for games and they'll be like, well, I got, you know, whatever, 5 hours of game time or 10 hours of game time. That's $1 for every hour of game time I got out of it, and that's worth it to me. So it's really hard to like say. And then there's people like whales that just don't care, right? They just they're like, fuck it, I'm buying it. You can't stop me. Got that Saudi Arabian oil prince money. For big AAA games, Willie says WoW was one of the first to do a fully priced game plus a subscription, and the first microtransaction was a amount. I feel like the microtransactions in WoW came way after other companies started doing it. They always had the subscription, like, yeah, buy the game and then pay the subscription. But to be fair, that was even pretty standard back then. I want to say it was not RuneScape. What was the other one? EverQuest? I think EverQuest also had the same subscription-based model when original WoW came out way back in the day. So, I don't know. Yeah, the Sparkle Pony. I had quit playing WoW a long time before they ever got to microtransaction. Oh, dude, Wooly, don't do it. Don't even think about how long things have been. Like, I think about it all the time. Like, yeah, 2010 was 15 years ago. It's crazy to think about. There's so many games and stuff. Like, I try and think about like when I played Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect trilogy. My brain kind of melts because I'm like, oh my god, that was ages ago. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with the nostalgia. Forgot what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, that's right. We were going to talk about calibration system today. Because that was the other big thing that came out. We had the calibration system we had to go over. I'll get rid of all these little exclamation points later. I can't really show. We already did the expansion drills. Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about was this target practice. So this... oh, man, this target practice. I don't know what to say about this, guys. Like, they were so close. I was so excited about this. I really was. And then I got here and I realized how they set it up. And I'm just like, Mika, why would you do this. Okay, what is the point of this mode? Let's start. This is, I don't know, like I said, I don't know why no one at the game design meeting raised their hand and said this. What is the main point of this mode? Why do people want a target dummy? So they can test different team combinations, right? Why would you lock it to a specific element? Like, that's stupid, right? Like, if I want to test a team that is not a mono element, this mode is worthless. Like, it's not worthless, but it's like, here, cool. All right, maybe you wanted to test out the interactions between, I don't know, whatever, Michti and Centrisi for whatever. It doesn't matter. Pick any two units. Maybe you wanted to test out Michti and Chongju. It's like, okay, cool. You got a character here. Wow, you're doing corrosion damage. That's all fun, fine and dandy. Everything's cool. Until you get to a character that doesn't match the element, and then they just do nothing. Ironically, though, you can still do overburn to the target, even though it's technically a burn debuff, right? So it's technically a phase element damage, but whatever. It says fixed damage. I don't know. Don't think about it. But it's just like, how do you miss the mark? Like, the whole point of this mode, the reason this mode exists is because people want to try out teams, right? Team comps and damage counts. And it's like, nobody cares about your stupid little leaderboard, right? Like, the reason they did this was so you could have like a leaderboard here for the different elements and be like, oh, well, look at the people who scored the highest for each element, which of course is just going to be whales. So once again, I don't know why they even bothered with but that's not the point. That's not why people wanted this mode. They wanted it to test teams. And if you're going to restrict it to specific phase weaknesses, like, how hard would it have been to just have one more little one at the end here that said sandbox mode? You can just do whatever. Like, this is fine. The fact that you can have the target dummy attack you back to trigger things like counterattacks, that's cool. I just, like I said, it just baffles my mind that they didn't just have a generic you can do whatever you want mode. Just, yeah, no ammo weaknesses either. So no light, medium, heavy ammo, because it's like that kind of, well, it's like you can do it in your head, right? Like, you can just add up the extra, like, you can visually just be like, okay, whatever, that attack did 2,000 damage, I'll add 10% onto that for fake weakness, or for like medium ammo weakness. Or you'll be like, okay, well, I exploited medium ammo, and that would be whatever, another 2 stability worth of damage. You can do it in your head, but it's like, that's not why people wanted the mode. They didn't want to do a spreadsheet, right? They wanted to just be able to do it in game and then go to the summary at the end of it and look at the damage, like, contributions. Like, because, for example, like, maybe you're trying to figure out offensively who's a better offensive character, right, to squeeze out a little extra damage. Like, maybe you want to compare Xiaomi to Centrisi. Well, you can't, because one does frost, one does fire, and guess what? The bosses don't allow you to test both at the same time. So you have to, like, rerun the scenario once on the frost boss for Xiaomi, and then you gotta, like, reset it and test it separately on Centrisi on the fire target dummy. It's just dumb. Just absolutely stupid. Sorry, I'm getting on a rant. Oh, Radical Link. Thanks for showing up. And the polls went fantastic, dude. Thanks for asking. The first one was, we won the first, it was the first 50-50 we won. It was just at normal pity, right? And then the second one we lost at about, I think, 60, but then we immediately got it again, like right after, like 10 or 15 in. So it was like almost a freebie. And then the weapon was like what, like the second 10 pull or the first 10 pull? No, it was like the first 10 pull. I think it was the first one on the first 10 pull. So we just got some wild luck there at the end. So yeah, we're sitting good. I said I'm not gonna be unlocking her Jesus Christ, her segment fortification until after I record the guide, because I don't want to be confusing people with what they see on screen versus what I'm saying. Yeah, so the target dummy was unfortunately a flop. Like I said, the good news is they could easily just fix it. They just have to add that sandbox mode. I said, it's just weird to me that nobody stood up at the meeting and said, like, hey guys, you know, the reason we're putting this in the game in the first place is to test teams out. Like, maybe we should have a sandbox mode where you can just do whatever you want. I don't know. So back to on topic, sorry. I ranted there. I ranted, and I wasted 40 minutes of our time. We're gonna go over the, what's it called? Extreme calibration system. So I think we're gonna be testing it out here on Vector. Because, so for the first, so these chips are rare, right? Let's just start off with the, oops, can I just look at the chips? Yeah, here we go. So these chips are relatively rare. You can get them in a couple different ways. There's a couple in the Platoon shop here. These refresh on a weekly basis, but you only get one a week. There's a couple more that's like a one-time purchase, but they're kind of expensive. The other mention is you get them here. These reset on a monthly basis. You get 3 a month here. And they'll be available in other ways. Like I want to say they're also available right now in the event shop for the new event. I think I already bought them too. No, I didn't. So there's a couple more here in the event shop. They're relatively rare though, but I want to say you're gonna get about what people were guesstimating about 10 a month. So if that factors into how you're gonna use them. So they're relatively rare. You don't want to just waste them. So the order that I would personally do it in is because obviously these are specifically going to be big boosts for your DPS characters. You probably want to focus on either assault rifles or rifles. So good targets to use them on initially would be characters like Macchiato, the attachments on her weapon, Klukai, Chongju, maybe Sharkari, but she doesn't deserve it because she's a little gremlin. And then to combine with that, you probably want to, this is just my opinion, you would probably want to pick a set that's generically useful for lots of characters like Phase Strike, because especially now with the new formation system, you can swap these attachments between characters very easily. So having a fully pimped out, calibrated set of Phase Strike for assault rifles, rifles, and maybe submachine guns for damaging characters would be really lit, because then you can just swap them between any team. The reason I think we're doing Vector tonight, because the other thing is because these things are so rare, you don't really just want to be using them to calibrate any weapon. So as we're gonna go to, let's see if I can find Skylight here. This one's not a great one, right? Because like just to get it like ready to be fully calibrated, you're gonna have to spend a couple to get this up, to get crit rate up and attack up. I would say this is probably about 10 chips just to get a fully maxed out like base stats, versus an attachment like this one, for example, where all you would need to do is buff up crit rate here with this. So this one's just going to naturally require a lot more chips. Even if you roll really good on these percentages here, it's just going to take more chips overall. And you kind of want to factor that in. So once again, you probably want to focus on sets that are generically useful for multiple characters. So like this corrosion set's not great because, well, the only characters that use corrosion assault rifles are MHT and 416. I think what we're going to do is I want to do Vector because the attachments I got for her are actually kind of good, right? Like these are all almost maxed. Yeah, these are almost all maxed base stats. So we're going to use these as an example. I know I'm telling you to do one thing and I'm going to do the opposite because I just said do assault rifles and rifles first, but we're going to do submachine guns first. Just because I have some good equipment for them. So obviously, in order to calibrate it here, you got to have these. It's got to be calibrated at least one time. And all the bars have to be above 100% here. So like if we find a different one. Of course, I rolled really good on all the calibrations on these. So let's pick a totally different weapon. I think this one's a good candidate. Yeah, this one wouldn't even let you do it, right? It'll say, hey, you got to get 100% on all these stats. And that's because the attack stat here on this one did not roll at least 100%. The easy way around that, if you have a piece like, let's say this one, right? This one's almost perfect max stats. to be efficient with the chips, you want to get these stats calibrated as much as you possibly can before you start using the extreme calibration chips. Because A, because they're rare, and B, once you start using them, it locks you in. Like, for example, if I spend one here to boost this stat up, it's going to lock in these rolls, and I won't be able to increase them anymore using calibration, normal calibration, right? At this point, after you use one of these chips, it's locked in, and you just have to keep going until you use all of them to max it out. So like I said, this one is 20. Yeah, so for example, to get this piece totally maxed out would be 20 chips, which is going to take a while, right? If we said we're getting about a 10 month, maybe a little more than that if you factor in events, one piece of fully pimped out gear is going to cost, 1 or 2 months worth of resources. That's why you want to get something pre-calibrated and ready to go, similar to kind of like this one, right? So this one I rolled really crazy on the crit rate, so now all I have to worry about is these other two stats. So this one, to totally max out, would only be 18, right? Now, you could... trying to see if I can find one here. I think these are all ready to go. That's why I wanted to do this. Yeah, these are all 140%. This is another one that rolled really well. How many total is this to do? This one's 21. So, 20, give or take about 20 after some decent rolls. Let me see if I can find another example. No, let's just go. Let's just do it, right? So, this one's good. These are all really high base stats that I rolled, so we could calibrate these. And actually, I'm trying to think of a good way. Sorry, I didn't plan this out too well, as you can tell. We're kind of doing it on the fly. This one I don't think will let me do it. Oops, because I'm pretty sure this one was one of the ones I was just a little bit off. No, I lied. This one's barely good enough. Was it this? Yeah, this one. So for example, this piece is not good enough, so we're gonna have to calibrate it normally. So let's grab some materials here and let's calibrate it normally. Now, I've shown this off before. This was a horrible roll, right? But let's say it wasn't. Let's say these first two rolled like 180 and like 200%. This roll here kind of negates the whole thing, because if any of the stats dip below 100, you can't use extreme calibration. So even if these two are perfect, you rolled like 200s for both of these. If this one was anything below 100, you've kind of bricked the whole roll. One way around that is to use the normal calibration chips and then do it. Now, this is prohibitively expensive. You've doubled the cost now to do it. Like, for example, if we go to 0, it's 20,000 to do a normal calibration, but it's 44,000 to do a triple, like, static calibration. The good news is, when we do this, see, this is kind of a good example, actually. If this one would have tried to dip below 100%, it would have gotten stopped. So even though these ones rolled pretty high and pretty well, you prevent yourself from kind of like bricking the roll, so to speak, by having one of the stats dip too low. Now, luckily, I just got lucky, bro, and all of them remained pretty high. But that is one way you can kind of negate the effects. So if you're trying to calibrate a piece, like let's say you want to get, like I said, once again, probably ARs and probably phase strength. Let's see if I got a piece here. Oh man, this is a cracked piece. Yeah, this one's solid. But yeah, so it's like if you're, let's see if I'm trying to have another one I can experiment on. This one I already experimented on, I think, last time I used this, but it's the same. You get the idea. The idea is that you can use this as, while it does increase the cost a lot, which is unfortunate, it prevents you from having a bricked roll by having two godlike rolls and one really crappy one. Ideally, you don't need to do that. You could just keep calibrating and calibrating and calibrating until you just get like a roll like I got on that last one, where they're all kind of like the 150% range. And that way you can then min-max it from there. I'll probably do a quick guide on this, like a video on this that is not so haphazardly explained like I just did, but for anybody who's kind of like wondering how this works, that's the gist of it. You got to make sure you're at least 100% on all these rolls, and then when you start using them, it'll boost up these ones first, and then you're locked in at this point. Like after I've spent, even if you don't go anything past the base stats, right, like just to here, or even if you only spend one chip, right, like even if we only did just that, it's gonna lock it in at this point, and I won't never be able to re-roll these. So like I said, because like for example this roll needs 19, like you could try and roll these stats a little better and maybe save a few chips in the long run. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but don't try and calibrate something to like 100% across the board and be like, yeah, that's good enough. It's like try and roll for like 150 plus on average across all the stats. Yeah, well, the monthly reset you're talking about, the shop here, I did manage to snatch up a couple, but obviously I didn't stream on Thursday night. I streamed or Wednesday night. I streamed on Friday, so I can't remind you guys, unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. They're gonna have more of these. So yeah, they also mentioned it in the Discord as well. I'm trying to think. I think there was one more place you can get it. It's not currently in the Battle Pass, but I want to say it will be in the future. Yeah, so because right now it's in the growth stack here in the Neural Store, it's in the Platoon shop once a week here, and then obviously the one-time purchase. And I want to say it's one other place. Is it here? No. Anyway, I have a feeling they're going to add more in the future too, so because this one currently doesn't have any, although next Battle Pass there might be. I can't remember if people confirmed that or not. And you know what? They could probably even add it to the expansion drill here as one of the rewards instead of precision boost. They might even add them to that. So who knows? There's lots of different things they can do it. They do it obviously in the event shops too. Well, we did. Let me just see if she's in like usable. Yep, leveled. Alright, cool. We're gonna do a quick, just to so I can say that I played the game today. We're gonna do a quick boundary push. This is one of the few things that I actually haven't cleared this week. We don't even need to worry about fire weakness because we can implant it now. Let's go ahead and get a team of fire characters, which are all down here at the bottom. Little gremlin. I'll worry about min-maxing all the stats and everything later. Yeah, I was looking at the channel. I realized I haven't uploaded any actual videos to the channel in about a month now. Partially that is because of the incident where the streaming software crashed, and because that's also what I use to record videos. So that didn't help. I lost a bunch of footage for Michti. I was like working on a Michti guide like really slowly. Wow, really? Just gonna start me right next to the boss? Okay. So that was unfortunate. You know, let's just fight. Yeah, whatever. Initiate combat. Not gonna. Oh, that was a really long reach on that sword, bro. Gonna have a little bit of fun here. Okay, so what's the best way? This guy, he can come right through here. Dude, I love the range on this. This is so huge. It's huge. It's literally hit everybody. And then maybe we'll just have you clear out this before it becomes a problem. Yeah, we'll do that one. They might be Radical. So Radical's saying, I hope the extreme calibration ships were going to be in Boundary Push event, but I guess not. They might be. It's kind of weird because like we haven't gone through a reset yet for the server. So it could easily be coming. I mean, I know if you had somebody on the CN server, they could tell you for sure, but I don't play on the CN server, so apologies. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's a tie. Is the game going to give me the tie, or is it going to put it on Sharkery? Yes, it healed the right person. Like I said, it's so much fun to see this like avalanche of support attacks. So Sharkery is the one I'm most interested in replacing in this team. Although she does her job really well. As far as like gameplay, she's really good. It's just that I find her incredibly annoying. Centurisi is actually kind of the weakest link in this team, just because of the way they designed her. She doesn't really fit. I'm kind of ignoring mechanics because this boss is going to die here in a second. Yes, beat up on Sharkery. Punish her. Is this enough to heal her? It is. Can I have her... Yeah, that will anger which mob? This one. I'm trying to position her in a spot where she can get AoE'd off of... whatever. Don't need to think about it too much. She got attacks on both these guys because Centurisi's special drink here applied overburn to everybody because they already had it. Oh, wait. I goofed. Rewind. She's not in range of the... Oh, she is in range of the boss. That was weird. It didn't show me that she was, but we're good then. Yeah, for this mode as well, Vector is a submachine gun character, which kind of shits all over the elites and the boss in this mode. Very true. Oh yeah, dude. After Sharkery's mod key, she gets a lot better for this mode specifically. Well, not just for this mode, but for this team, I should say. I said I'm a little confused as the order they're releasing some of the mod keys, but we'll see. We'll see how long it takes them to keep adding them. If we get like one every time a new character comes out, we'll be Gucci. Let's hope we don't have to wait too long. Yeah, Centurisi kind of needs... The issue for Centurisi that is kind of annoying is... in the team, the way she applies this heat recovery is based off of if they initiate the attack. So it can get kind of annoying with characters like Chongju who just want to ult and then not do anything because they don't initiate attacks. So she's never going to put this heat recovery on like Chongju if Chongju's just ulting every single turn. So it gets kind of... and then that problem extends to her segment 1, right? Like Blazing Assault is a strong buff along with damage up. These are both very, very strong buffs. The issue is, once again, someone like Chongju will never benefit from these because if Chongju just ults, she hasn't initiated an attack, Centurisi won't do an action support. So that's why you still see, even to this day, you see Ksenia be used in a lot of Gunsmoke Frontline teams. Because she can apply Blazing Assault to targets that don't initiate attacks with Comprehensive Rescue. That's if you're going to be a Gunsmoke Sweat, but it's just a little annoying to use Centurisi and not have her like perfectly synergized with the rest of the team. Because it's weird. Vector, Chongju, and Sharkery It's like the holy trinity of the burn team. Like they synergize off each other perfectly. Like you just saw it there in the combat. You attack with one of them, and the rest of them just like do a chain of follow-up attacks, which is awesome. It's just weird because Suntarisi like kind of fits in the team, but like there's a little bit of jank in how she works. Yeah, sorry. Undam, when I was talking about like the way that they're releasing the mod keys, Dashevia desperately needs hers. Desperately. I would have argued she needed it more than Macchiato, but I'm guessing they looked at the players like who own Dashevia and they saw that there's like whatever half as many players that own Dush as Macchiato, and so they're just like, forget it, we'll just give Macchiato's key first. But yeah, Dashevia desperately needs it. Xiaomi doesn't need it at all. I don't know why they even gave her a key, to be honest. She was already perfectly fine. So, whatever. And then, yeah, for Chongju to get it, but Sharkray did not get it, that's kind of a weird one, too. But man, dude, I don't know what to do, guys. Like we're at an hour, which is like, you know, a decent stopping point, but I think we might have to, because unless you guys want to just sit here and talk with me and watch me aimlessly click around menus, like I can do some. I'll do, you know, so let's do this. Let's do this. We're gonna mess around with the burn team here for a minute, and we'll just chit chat, have a good time. There's not really anything else to cover. For those of you who want to tune out, feel free, but thanks for coming if you did. But we'll hang out for a few minutes here, test this fire team out, because I'm not 100% sure. Oops, I got rid of them all and I needed some of them. Vector, I need you. And it is nice that they let you do 5. I know I was ragging on this game mode earlier, but it is nice that they let you deploy 5. So this is the issue I'm about to show, is I don't know how we're gonna get. I don't know how we're gonna squeeze. Oops, I didn't put her fixed key on, so she's not actually gonna get. It's a disaster. Hold up. It's a disaster, guys. I gotta actually put on Chongju's key to turn her attacks into fire damage. You guys were probably watching that in the last segment, just thinking you were going crazy, but you were not going crazy. I'm just in basic info core hell. But I did budget for this. I knew this day would come when I would have to get these 2 skills. So I budgeted appropriately. Your boy can do math. Or maths, as they say in England. And now we can do this one. Ooh, just exactly enough. Like I said, I can do math, guys. I promise. Boy, wouldn't that have been embarrassing if I would have been like, yeah, dude, I got enough. Okay, so now we're into now we're in the burn zone. Ooh, Wooly's asking if this is a hot take that Xiaomi should have never launched with a shield. I'm not sure if that's necessarily a hot take. It definitely warped game balance a bit. So this was something I saw people not complaining, but they were discussing the other day. The game balance is kind of in a weird spot right now, because between 2 things, who are we going to use? Well, first of all, who are we going to use for the 5th person on this team? I think we'll just use someone generic. Yeah. Because I don't know how we're going to trigger 5 attacks. Yeah, we'll just try this. Yeah, so the game balance is kind of in a weird place. So after they launched the game, they nerfed everything, right? The original Xian launch, people were like, oh no, game too hard, please nerf. And so they did. And that's why we have like baby mode easy difficulty. And then To compound that problem, they released some really OP characters. For example, 416 or a Kukai with segment 6 is just, it's absurd for normal content. And then there's another character later on, Springfield, who essentially does the same thing but for a hydro element. And it's kind of a weird issue because they've warped game balance to the point where it's like there's not any challenging content to begin with, and even if they now add challenging content, I don't think it really matters because let me do math real quick. So this 4 turn, 3 turn, 2 turn, 1 turn. Yeah, okay. I gotta find the exact right method for doing this. Look at that. You do 1 attack and it's like 7 counterattacks. It's fantastic. But yeah, so the game's in kind of a weird spot for like for example, the damage you are witnessing right now from this team is gonna shred most content, right? Like Gunsmoke Frontline is like the only thing that it doesn't like instantly kill. So, you know, what do they do, right? Like, how do they keep players who are interested in the game long term, as far as like a challenge? Like, how do they keep them interested? Because the other thing is like all the events, all the I guess I should have attacked there, but whatever. All the events, like, you know, like the Escape from Cyborg City and Aphelion, the normal events, their difficulty level for the actual like fights are all like really low level. The challenge modes are a little more difficult, but they're also incredibly easy. Like you can go into them blind, not read any of the boss mechanics, and kind of just smash them. Right, we gotta hold Changju first. So she did 1. That's 2. I think we have to Sharkery now. This will be 3. This will be 4 if it hits. Yeah, it hits. Because this will trigger. Okay, I lied. Sharkery's already out of attacks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of thinking on how to squeeze 5 to 6 attacks out of Changju every turn. It's a little easier with characters like for example, if I would have had this boss attacking, Diane could stand like right here and counterattack. That would be an extra 1. But naturally, the team doesn't just naturally generate enough. Like I guess it's kind of a cool thing, right? In the future, I know there's I'm saying specifically for this minute. I know there's a couple characters in the future that have extra attacks. MP5. One of her things is like she can do a basic attack multiple times, right? That's one way to trigger Changju's multiple attacks, like extra. So it's cool that like she's got a little room to grow. You don't have to get too hung up on min-maxing the. Yeah, we gotta do 1 attack here. You don't have to worry about too much about min-maxing and getting all 6 attacks because I don't think it's really like feasible to do that every single turn. So yeah, back to the conversation about Xiaomi making, Undoom says Xiaomi makes the autoplay incredibly safe, which is definitely true. It's almost like, this is what I got derailed when I was saying about, the difficulty is like, so they nerfed a lot of the content because people were like, well, game too hard, please nerf. And then the other half of that was that you have a lot of people who like to auto battle, and they get frustrated when the auto battle, like, I mean, the AI does some really stupid stuff on auto battle, so what's one way to compensate? Well, you can just have the AI not do stupid stuff by making them invincible. So yeah, they made Xiaomi like even right now, if you're using Xiaomi correctly, like there's like almost 0 chance that anybody dies, because even if someone gets like targeted single target and gets low, you can always just use her Her second skill, which I'm having a mind blank on what it's called. I want to say it's Snowfield's Grace or something. You can just use that to like top them up with a shield, right? And then God forbid you get Xiaomi's segment 1, then your team's just never gonna die. And so for them to also add onto her key another shield, like another way to generate shields, is just like, it's like overkill. Like it makes autoplay incredibly safe, sure, but almost to the point where it's like you don't even need to play the game anymore. And that's the problem, right? It's like, how do you make difficult content but also make it autoplay compatible? I'm just kind of slapping skills here as I talk. Yeah. I feel like she was strong to begin with, especially if you got her segment 1. Like, if for some reason you were having trouble dying, you could just get her segment 1, and then you definitely could turn your brain off and never die, even on auto battle. But now the mod key is just, it takes that to a whole nother level. So it could be that they're like getting ready to release difficult content, but I doubt it, right? Like, I don't know. They're talking about releasing an EX mode. I just don't know if that's actually gonna happen. Sorry, I'm not thinking here. I know. You told me about this last time, Willie, and I just wasn't paying attention when I was clicking. Like I said, I'm kind of talking, thinking, and just clicking at the same time. I just want to see the counterattacks chain off each other real quick here. It's hard to do any functioning brain power while also discussing something like future meta or future like game design. I'm gonna do it again. Can't stop me. This is another thing that's kind of weird. I understand why they did it to 7 turns here. It ends after 7 turns because that's Gunsmoke Frontline's turn limit. But I also would have liked it if you could have picked your own turn limit and just like figure out after like 4 rounds or something. I mean, the problem is if I hit exit here, it's not going to give me the end screen where you can see the damage breakdown. That is one of the sad parts. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of just like slapping through all this real quick just so I can see the damage breakdown at the end. I'm just curious the average like percentages characters are coming out. Obviously Centrisa should be way on the bottom, and I think Vector will be a little bit above her. This, I need to think about this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chongju in this team setup can't be just ulting every single turn, even though she gets 3 attacks back, and so she'll always have enough to ult at max confectance. I think you alternate between common rail to keep your blazing assault buff up, because you're never gonna utilize all the stacks of pressing the momentum anyway. I have to do a little math on that one, but that's the feeling I'm getting. Oh, and it's your boy. How's it going, Mr. Jasco? I wasn't paying attention if Shark used up all her attacks, because this is supposed to apply overburn to the target, which should trigger a Y support. I guess maybe because the target already has overburn, you can't do it. Oh no, there it did. They're just not saying it for whatever reason. Should I do it again? Should I make Wooly really mad? Well, he says, I understand why the event story stages are really easy. They want new players to have a chance. Yeah, that's totally understandable. It's kind of weird to me that the challenge stages are also so baby mode easy. Yeah, farming stages, same thing. Like, the farming stages should definitely be accessible. It's just weird that... I don't know. Like, on the one hand, you want even time-limited stuff. I can kind of understand why you don't want to gate that across, especially in a game that like gates limits your progress, like based on commander level. I understand why you wouldn't want to make that too difficult, because like let's say somebody is like, boy, I played that GFL1 game way in the past, and this Vector character looks really cool. Wow, look at nice jacket. I wish they had that jacket in real life that I could buy. Wink, wink. And they're like, okay, so I'm gonna pick up the game and I'm gonna give it a try, and maybe I'll like it. You know, if you have a player like that, like they're gonna hit level 20 in a day or two and get to be able to do the event, but they will struggle trying to clear the event with level 20 characters, right? Because I think the boss at the end is like level, I don't know, 30 or something. So they'll have to actually do mechanics, because they won't be able to just out-level. So it's like, it makes sense that you don't want to punish those players, but at the same time, that's a very limited time period, right? For like A, for how long the event is open, and B, for this is what I wanted to see here, right? Like, so like this is the screen that I wish you could get to kind of at any point. You could just like hit exit or finish or concede or settle, whatever you want to call it, because this is kind of the important info. Is like, if you're testing stuff, you kind of want to see like who's where on the damage charge. For example, Vector did less than I thought she would, but that makes sense because A, I don't have her segment enabled, and B, I also don't have all her stuff fully kitted out. I kind of just slapped it together. This is pretty standard for Centurici. Oh, poor Centurici. Although Diane did way less than I thought she would, but that's also because the boss doesn't have any weaknesses right now, and she also does not synergize with anybody on this team. But this is like important info, right? Another thing is the stability. You want to see the stability. Although this can get kind of janky too, because if you attack after their stability broken, you don't get credit for it. Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, they have a weird issue with the difficulty of the game. They don't really know. I don't know. They could raise the difficulty. They're talking about it with the EX stages, but from my understanding in GFL1, even the EX stages weren't that difficult. I don't know. It's just kind of a mess because you have characters like Xiaomi, even with her mod key now, that are just gonna, even if you crank up the difficulty, she's just gonna like ignore it, right? So ideally what you would want, this is my opinion, ideally you would want it so that when you do the event normally, right, let's go here, let's go to, oops, not challenge mode, supply mode, whatever. These guys like cap out at like level 40. You would want the first run through the story mode or the challenge modes to be, okay, you can auto battle it and whatever, the AI can just run out and stand out in the open like Xiaomi loves to do and throw her shield like across the map to clip one target on the other side. And that's fine. But when you turn it on to EX difficulty, you should have to like utilize things like cover. The cover system in this game is actually pretty cool, the way it's done with stability. But they don't really ever make you think about it. It's always just kind of like there, and it's like you should stand in cover, but if you're not, it's like it's not the end of the world. So I feel like if you're gonna have an EX mode, they have to like. And then the problem is if you're utilizing cover correctly, then shields mean almost nothing. The most important resource then, if you're utilizing cover, is stability. So you want characters like Rosa and I guess technically Sabrina, who does like shelter and stuff, to increase the stability or reduce the stability you take, or increase it by giving it back to the team. Like characters like that would be way more beneficial in a cover-based game mode, which ideally is what the game is supposed to be trying to do as a tactical turn-based shooter. But they kind of moved away from that because gacha players, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know, I don't have the statistics that they see, right? Like they know how many people I'm assuming they could get the info for how many people clear this, how many people don't, like on a bi-weekly basis or whatever. So I don't know. Because it's like, on the one hand, they're always asking in the surveys, like, why do you play gacha games? Like, you know, do you just want to play them and chill, or do you want them for a challenge? And most people always say they just want to play a game and chill. They want to collect the waifus and have a fun time. That's fine. But then you also get a lot of people complaining that the games are boring and they're easy. There's nothing to do. And at the very least, in games like Hong Kong, some of my homies here can attest to the fact that some of the end game modes in that like drive players to get new characters, and they drive players to improve their accounts, like strength through gear and mostly new characters, but like gear as well, and maybe sometimes tactics. But then they also complain when it gets too hard. Like right now, Honkai Star Rail has a huge problem with power creep, and not just power creep on the characters, but power creep on the enemies too. Like how much HP the enemies have is getting ridiculously huge, and it's causing a weird issue in that game where the average player is having a very difficult time keeping up with the end game, and it's causing a lot of frustration. Like you want it to motivate players to do better and, like, you know, play the game and have fun, but like at the same time it's also making people frustrated, which is causing them to not care, or at the very least, even if they don't do the end game modes, they're getting a bad and negative perception of the game. Yeah, GFL. So Willie asked if GFL had night stages. Weren't those horrible? I don't know if they were horrible. They were very different. The problem with the night stages is the way they went about that. Was the main issue was there's two things on the overworld map. Like, you just couldn't see where the enemy movements were unless you were right next to them. So it was kind of like a trial and error to figure out where the enemies were actually located. And then the other issue is that when you're actually in combats on a night map, everyone's vision or their accuracy is reduced by 90%, so you had like a base 90% chance to miss, unless you had night vision gear. But guess what? Only certain units could have night vision gear. Like, only assault rifles and submachine guns could have night vision gear. Rifles couldn't, like normal, like sniper rifles. And I lied, I'm sorry, and pistols could have night vision gear too. But the problem then became, well, then they decided that they were going to have armored enemies, right? And it's like, well, assault rifles and submachine guns can't deal with armored enemies. You needed sniper rifles to deal with armored enemies. But to compensate, because it's nighttime and the rifles can't have any sort of night vision, you had to make the armored enemies have like zero evasion. So it turned into like this weird paper, scissors, rock, where you had, like, in night battles, you had two types of teams. You had assault rifle submachine gun teams that had night vision, and then you had rifle teams that had rifle and pistol teams that had no night vision but could kill armored units. And it turned into kind of a messy game mode. It was like kind of not fun. Yeah, and then Undam saying that the gun smoke, yeah, the gun smoke's a problem too. It's not open, but the gun smoke issue is its own separate problem of just like, well, one of the quote main end game modes of the game right now is just stand out in the open and shoot the boss, right? Tank attacks that you wouldn't normally tank, like for example, Dicecraft. You know, he does like the cross attack AoE where the more guys that get hit, the more stability gets reduced. Well, that's fine, except most of the time you never would stand in a formation that would get multiple people hit, right? Like most of the time boss mechanics want you to spread out. Sometimes there are mechanics that share damage between teammates, but they're the exception. So they said it teaches you to do like really bad things tactically, because there's also no cover in the like the lanes that he shoots those AoEs in. So it's, yeah, like the end game mode is very disjointed from like the rest of the game. And then people consider Gunsmoke Frontline the end all be all for the game, because like just because you know it's a good way to test your character's output, like damage output. But like it has like, you get less for doing high placement on that than you do for completing expansion drills, right? Like I will take 2 info cores over 50 collapse pieces any day. any single day of the week. You just call me up. You say, hey, man, I'll trade you. You got yourself a deal. Oh, sorry. I just ranted and rambled there for like 20 minutes. I apologize. Willie, I am liking the Gunsmoke Frontline less and less. No. It is. Did you not watch the stream? It is the much beloved Gunsmoke Frontline. The good news is tomorrow we get a new boss for it. It's the big purple boss from Chapter 2, the big plant worm thing. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a Vector shell. So if you don't have Vector, I'm sorry. You'll just do average. I mean, the good news is you can always borrow it from your teammates or just, as usual, use Segment 6, 416, or Klukai. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just going to be how it is. I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with them shilling characters on the bosses, like making a boss that's mechanics or specially tuned to get counteracted by a character. It's just that you got to do that in moderation. You don't want to do it too much. Like it's good, especially when a character comes out, to highlight what a character's good at. Like, for example, I don't want to show spoilers for anyone who hasn't done it yet, but the boss for this really shows you what Vector can do in the perfect situation. So it helps players visualize in the future, like, what situations Vector would be very strong in. Yeah, it is a 20-minute chore every 2 weeks. I wish it was 20 minutes, man. Sometimes I get caught up because I try hard it, and it ends up taking way more than 20 minutes. But yeah, like I said, it's a weird thing because it's a rough game mode, man. Like, I don't know, yeah, I don't know, because it's like I just said, it's worth very little. The difference between placing good and placing poorly is very little on your actual account. Like, it's like 50 collapse pieces, which is nothing. It's like 1/3 of a ticket every month, right? 1/3 of a ticket every month is like literally nothing to worry about. But at the same time, it's like, it's a good way for people to flex their teams and like their damage output, so people like it because they get to kind of have like a ranking. So I don't know, but yeah, it also, like I said, it doesn't vibe with the rest of the game's like tactical shooter playstyle, right? Like I said, you stand out in the open, the boss barely does any damage, you just unload on it like a target dummy. It's kind of goofy. Yeah, Undoom's like, it's nothing but a DPS check. I'd like to see the boss that summons elites and makes different defensive units stronger. Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool too. Like, I don't know how they would do it, but it'd be interesting to see a boss or another type of scoring that wasn't just pure damage based. Like, maybe like a nice, and it's hard to balance, right? But to be honest, the devs get paid to do this, right? This is their job. Like, maybe you have a game mode where it's like the longer you survive, the better. But in order to survive, you have to kill stuff, right? So it A, rewards you from having very survivable units like Xiaomi, but B, you can't just take a team of all healers and expect to do good in the mode because you just won't have any damage to kill the enemies, right? That's ideally a perfect scenario. We're ranting again. I'm having a good time ranting, but I don't want to bore everyone because I know we're not playing anything. We're just looking at Vector, and Vector's just looking back at us in this like really like creepy like, bro, are you done yet? Hitting you with the are you done yapping yet look. So we will end it there tonight. I'm gonna use the rest of the evening to start recording some stuff for the Vector guide, and then I'll also try and fix my stream. Thank you guys all for coming. Yeah, dude, I should make these rants into videos, Willie. I was thinking about that. Like I said, I had some good meme videos cooked up. I had some really good meme videos cooked up, but I wanted to get the Meech Tea guide out, and then, like I said, the computer crash, all that nonsense. So, but we got some videos coming in the future. This last month has been barren, but I got some stuff coming to the channel here. But thank you guys all for coming tonight, hanging out with me. Thank you, Yugner, for the cracked ass luck. You are my good luck charm. I'm gonna see if I can distill your essence and sell it to other people. So yeah, thanks guys for coming. And because I had to redo the stream, I'm gonna leave you guys with like a fun little goofy treat. Hopefully this works. So. Yes, it's working. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for coming. I'll catch you guys next week. See ya.